Welcome! Today we're taking a quick look at the two beds surrounding my greenhouse. This one and this one. Let's just quickly orient ourselves. We're looking west towards the new greenhouse. To your right you can see one or two other beds, and to your left you can see the border to my neighbor's house. Right in front of us are the two beds we're looking at today. I call them the part sun beds 1 and 2. There's a smaller one to the left and a bigger one to the right. And let's start with the bigger one to the right. So we'll move towards it and start at the right of the greenhouse. So this is the bed from the west side. We're now facing east. You can see it's a dogleg right. It curves around the corner of the greenhouse. So let's start in this end and work our way up to that corner. So right in front of us here is a common geranium, macrorrhiza. So remember, this was, maybe I forgot to say that these two beds were initially shade beds. Where the greenhouse is standing now, there was an overgrown shed surrounded by big shrubs. Everything was in shade. And most of this is planted while it was in shade. But most of these so-called shade perennials actually do much better now that I've cleaned the area out and they get a whole lot of sun, really a lot of sun. The only exception really is perhaps one of the bleeding hearts over there and something that we'll come to at the very end. We'll come back to that. Okay, so geranium macrorrhiza, it will probably spread and get bigger, so I'll have to maybe move it and divide it in the end. Behind it we have two Heucheras, one Paris, a very common variety, and a darker one, which I think is blackberry jam or something like that. And here we have a little lily of the valley, a Convallaria. I have had a hard time getting those to like any spot in my garden actually. I really like Convallarias, so I hope that I have it here and at some other places, so we'll see what happens. Maybe those really should have some more shade. Okay, so moving on, a step further in. At the right here we have a little Hellebore. I haven't seen it in bloom yet. Let's see if something happens next spring. I'm not sure about the variety. And then we have a Pulmonaria. This is a typical example of what has happened in this bed. This Pulmonaria, which I put here because it was a shady spot, it was said to thrive in shade. So for 2 seasons it has stood here being just a tiny, teeny little thing. But now, when it gets a lot of sun, it has exploded. So there you go. So behind it you have Euphorbia. There are very many different kinds of Euphorbia. I really like this one. It's called Miner's Merlot, I think. I really love the bi-colored foliage. The contrast between the nuances of green and red are really nice. And the flowers are also very nice, I think. And then here we have another Heuchera. This one is probably a green spice or something. Now we move on from the start a bit further to the corner of the dogleg. And here we have first an Astilbe, a really nice light pink variety. Maybe it's a Actaea, I'm not sure. And then we have a little tiny hydrangea. This was you know, a store-bought potted hydrangea that was supposed to go inside 2 seasons ago. And then I planted it out, and the first season it really thrived, and it survived the winter, and it grew big and bloomed, flowered last season. But this season it's not really doing much, so we'll see. And then behind that we have a Dicentra. Well, actually, they're not called Dicentras anymore. They're called Lamprocapnos spectabilis. I did say bleeding heart, didn't I? Yeah. well, maybe I didn't. Bleeding heart is the common name. Dicentra, it was used to be called Dicentra, now it's called Lamprocapnos. And it's been standing through a heat wave, and still it looks okay. I mean, it looks a bit scraggly, but it's been really producing happily for a long time. So I'm very happy with it, and also it's doing better in full sun than in part shade. So there you go. Yeah, we're moving further away. So here we have another Astilbe. This one is a bit darker. I think it's the common variety Fanal. Not final, but Fanal, I think. Behind it is one of the few plants that don't seem to thrive anymore, but I think that's, I mean, it's another Dicentra, or excuse me, a Lamprocapnos. This one is an Alba, a white one, a white bleeding heart. This one has produced nicely this season, and now, I mean, we're into July now, so I'm not surprised that it's dying down. That's what Dicentras do, Lamprocapnos, bleeding hearts, sorry. So I don't think it's any problem, and as I said, we had a heat wave, so it's done its work for the season, and it's going to bed, I hope. And in front of that, another beautiful, majestic Heuchera. This might be a silver scroll or something. I mean, there are so many varieties and it's hard to tell the difference between them, but something like that. You can see the silvery leaves. The next trio is Sedum, or Hylotelephium. This is the common variety, Autumn Joy. Here we have an Andromeda. I think this one's called Blue Lagoon. It has had a rough winter. We had a really tough winter, and it didn't like it. So it doesn't look anywhere near what it did last season. So we'll see. And here, looking like we're in the middle of a storm, which we are. It has been extremely windy. So this mallow that I just put down here as a summer, an annual, I drew up from seed, and I just put it here for fun, and it's been really nice. But now with the wind and the heat that we've had, it doesn't look really good. So I will probably pull it out. We're having rain tomorrow, so I'll see what it does, but it's probably going away now. Okay, so we've gone from that end on the other side, the outer side, through the bend and all the way to the end. Now I've turned the corner and we're coming back this way, and we'll start here in the middle. So here we have a Sedum. I think the small creeping ones are still called Sedums. It's only the bigger ones, like Autumn Joy, that have been renamed to Hylotelephiums. So this is a Sedum. It's a Californian Sedum. I think it's called in Latin Sedum spatulifolium. Maybe even the variety called Cape Blanco. And it has not been as productive this season as last one. So we'll see. I think it should like this. I mean, this is the opposite really. These ones, the Sedums, they like it dry and hot and sunny. So it should do fine here. It's a question of how much water it gets too. So it's hard to balance in a mixed bed like this. So then we have a shrub. This is a Clethra. More specifically, it's let's see, a Clethra alnifolia. Yeah. So actually, I bought one to put over there in the rhododendron bed with acidic soil. but it didn't really do so well. So I actually got a new one for free at the nursery, so I put that one here. While meanwhile, the other specimen has come along nicely now. So now I have two varieties. So let's see which one likes its location best. I haven't seen this one flower yet. I'm not sure when it flowers. It's a new shrub. I just put it in a month or so ago, so maybe it doesn't flower this year. I'll have to wait till next spring. Okay, so below that is an Ajuga. This is probably the most common variety, Black Scallop. You can hardly see it actually right now, so you need something to contrast it with, or so that it contrasts with something else to really get something out of it. So it's going to be fun to see how it develops. It's grown to, I think, 4 times the size it had when I put it in the ground a year or so ago. So that's nice to see. Then we have another Heuchera, the same variety as before, the Paris. Then over there is, oh yeah, that's right, Crocosmia. One of several varieties. I'm not sure this is the Lucifer. I know that I really like that one, so hopefully it is. It doesn't seem to be flowering yet, but hopefully at the end of summer it will. If I remember correctly, it has deep, dark red flowers on little, I forget what they're called, but they look a bit like the bleeding heart actually, with several flowers hanging down from a little stem. So that's the Crocosmia. And here we have another Sedum. This one is really nice. It's well, actually this one is called a Hylotelephium, even though it's not a creeper, but it's just low. This is called La Vie en Rose. It's just wonderful. I know my wife loves this one too, with the variegated leaves with white borders and then pink, also light pink. It's great. I hope that it gets bigger. Now we've reached the end of the bed, and we have 4 more plants to go. Let's start here. Another Heuchera. This one is probably the one called Fire Chief, with a really bright, screaming bright red. Behind that we have a whole other kind, much darker. That one is probably called Black Pearl. So I tend to look at the different Heucheras as with having different temperaments. This Fire Chief is really the livid one, the passionate one, kind of the old humoral thing from the Middle Ages. What are they called? Well, the passionate one anyway. And the Black Pearl is the sanguine one, the silent, strong, silent type or something. Then behind them we have yet another Astilbe. This is probably, I really love that red color. That may actually be a variety called Red Sentinel. And then this sorry friend I've saved for last. In this bed, this is bed number 1. We have one more bed to go. This is a Brunnera, and this has also done amazingly well here since I let in the light. But it didn't survive. Well, I hope it did survive, but it sure didn't like the heat wave that we had before the storms blew in. It was really nice before that, big and strong and vibrant, better than I've ever seen it. But now it doesn't look good at all. And actually, I have a cloth that I put over it now to shield it from the sun. So I give it a lot of water and I shield it from the sun. So we'll see if it comes back. Maybe I should give it some more feed as well. Okay, so that was the bigger of the two part sunbeds. Actually, they're more or less full sun actually. And we have some things left here to the right, but they are actually in another bed, so we'll save that for another time. Okay, let's go to bed. Let's orient ourselves again. So to the right is the bed number 1 that we looked at now, and here to our left is the smaller bed number 2, dominated, as you can see, by a big, well, big-ish Cornus. I'll just walk around it so you can see. Not a lot of square footage, but still some nice things. Not least the Cornus itself, of course. So let's start in the corner pointing towards the greenhouse. In this corner we have another Hellebore. Not sure what variety it is. And some remnants of some spring bulbs and another Convallaria. And then we have another Hylotelephium and probably autumn joy as well. Then here we have a mystery plant. I'm pretty sure I drew this up from seed this winter and spring and put it out here just to see what would happen. And I think it's a primrose of some kind, but Google Lens tells me that it's absolutely not a primrose. It's a horseradish. I'm pretty sure I haven't put down any horseradish seeds, and I don't want to dig it up to inspect the taproot. So I'll leave it be. If you know what it is, please tell me. Now behind the mystery plant is an old peony. It's stood here for up to 50 years, I think. It sounds incredible, but maybe I'm wrong, but well, at least 30. That I'm almost 100% sure. It hasn't flowered. Actually, I dug it up and replanted it more shallow, because I think that's what you do with peonies that don't flower. You have to plant them shallow. If you plant them too deep, they won't flower. But this one hasn't flowered yet, but it's kind of a heritage plant. It's always been here, so I like it. And I mean, the foliage is nice as well. And to its left is an anemone, an autumn anemone, or a Japanese anemone, which I planted this season from pot, I think. I bought it, or maybe I drew it up from seed, I'm not sure. I haven't seen it flower yet, but hopefully it does this season. It looks healthy. And here we have 2 other Heucheras, well 3 actually if you count the one in the background. We'll come back to that. These darker ones, I think maybe they're called wildberry and plum pudding. The one on the right, the one that's probably plum pudding, I really wanted a variety called electric or neon purple or something like that, but I couldn't find it. I'm still on the lookout for that one, which has a kind of a similar color nuance, but much more intense and with some silver sprinkles almost as well. Neon, as the name says. Okay, so now I've moved clockwise to another corner of this smaller bed, and we have 2 plants to go. And those are an Actaea, what are they called? Actaea simplex, yes, and I think this variety is called Brunette. I have other varieties in other beds around the garden, so it will be nice to see. Hopefully it will grow a lot bigger. Maybe I'll have to move things as they grow bigger. And then a final Heuchera. This one is probably called Marmalade, well, or something like that. It's similar to the one called Marmalade, at least. Actually, now that I think of it, we have one more. Well, we have 2 plants more to go. First of all, I don't think I've said anything about this Cornus. It's really beautiful. It may need to be cut back a bit, but anyway, it's a Russian Cornus, Cornus Alba, possibly the variety Elegantissima. Actually, I can see that I still have the tag, so I can look at that later. And then actually there is a bonus plant that I forgot on the other side of the Cornus. Let's see, there are actually 2 bonus plants. Let's start with the easy one. Yet another Heuchera. A wonderful color, isn't it? This might be called Wild Rose, I'm not sure. They don't look the same, all of them, but some varieties sure do look really similar. Then the bonus plant, this one, is, I think, a bit exotic. This is a Crinum, C-R-I-N-U-M, Crinum, possibly Crinum, but no, I don't think so. Powellii, Crinum or Crinum powellii, or Powell's Crinum lily, also known as swamp lily or Cape lily. It will hopefully, I have put in 3 of these in different places. It will hopefully flower later this season. It's taking its time. I put it in the ground for at least 2 months ago. And actually it should have more sun than it gets here. But I have other specimens planted in other locations. So, and they look pretty much the same. But it looks like it's doing its thing. So it will be really nice to see what it will do. It should be something extra, but it probably won't survive the winter here. It needs milder climate for that. Okay, so that was it for today. We've looked at these 2 part sunbeds, 1 and 2, and I took the opportunity to document them now because most things are in flower. And I will continue to document the beds, and I'll try to choose times when most of the contents are in flower. Some beds maybe I should have already documented for the season. They started to be past their prime now, so maybe I'll wait for next season. But anyway, that's the plan. So please come back to watch some more beds. There are 27 or 8 in total, actually. So thank you for watching. See you. Bye.